Okay, so for Tuesday, April 21st, you have pages 41 to 46 to do. So we are covering thesaurus, using a dictionary or glossary, and also identifying style and tone in certain texts. So starting on page 41 with style and tone, it's important to read the introduction. When you write, choose a style and tone that suit your purpose and audience. You might choose a formal style and serious tone for a report. For a personal email, you might choose an informal style and humorous tone. Once you've decided on a style and tone, you need to be consistent. So you don't want to have a serious tone in one sentence and then the next sentence have a humorous tone. You want it to follow through in the whole text, either all serious or all humorous. So the words you choose in your sentence patterns form your style. So here are two types, formal and informal. So formal, during meteorological events, animals tend to scatter. Or informal, it's raining, look at that mouse run for cover. It's fast. So obviously, maybe this would be like us talking to a friend, and this first one might be a scientist telling us what happens when an event related to weather is happening. Okay, your tone shows your attitude toward your subject and or readers. For example, a tone may be serious, playful, humorous, angry, calm, joyful, or sad. So we have two examples here, a serious one and a playful one. So serious, some animals seek shelter in and under trees or bushes. And a playful one, can a lizard use a tree as an umbrella? It sure can. So we're working with style and your tone. So what it's asking you to do down here is read the passage, then rewrite the underlined sentences to match the style and tone of the rest of the passage. Right, you always have your hints off to the left side. So this hint is, the style and tone of the story are informal and casual. The underlined sentences contain language that is either too poetic or too technical. Replace them with language that matches the story's style and tone. So we have informal and casual. Right, so if we look up here at informal, it's raining, look at that mouse run for cover. And casual, just think, what you wear, like, are you going to be casual or are you going to be dressed up? So it's kind of like low key. Alright, so first of all, we're going to read it. Our camping trip is off to a great start, said Dad. We had just begun to unpack. Then crack, sizzle, lightning flashed through the sky. Thunder made the mountains tremble in fear. Run to the car, yelled Dad. We'll wait it out there. After an hour, the rain stopped. When we exited the vehicle, we found that our belongings had absorbed a vast amount of moisture. I don't know about you, but if I wait in my car for the rain to stop and then I finally exit, I don't think the first thing out of my mouth would say that I had absorbed a vast amount of moisture. I'm not sure if I've ever used that when talking to my family before. Okay, same thing here. This is what they're referring to as the poetic one. Thunder made the mountains tremble in fear. So we obviously know that mountains don't tremble in fear because they are not people and they do not have emotions, or they just don't tremble. So here's sentence 1, here's sentence 2. There are, I am very positive, several ways that you could rewrite the sentence, but we want to match it to, we're on a camping trip with our dad, right? We see this, then crack, sizzle, lightning flash through the sky. So what would we say next about thunder and maybe mountains? So the thunder made the mountains shake, or the mountains shake after the thunder, something along those lines. So that would work. Same thing with, this one. When we exited the vehicle, we found that our belongings had absorbed a vast amount of moisture. So, run to the car, yelled Dad. We'll wait it out there. After an hour, the rain stopped. When we exited the vehicle, we found that our belongings had absorbed a vast amount of moisture. So you could say, wow, our stuff is so wet, or the rain got our stuff soaking wet. Something along those lines to where it doesn't sound so serious. Remember, we're talking to our family. We don't need to be that serious when talking to our family. Okay, on page 42, you are going to do the same thing and read this text right here, and you are going to revise the sentences, which means you are rewriting them to match the style that they want you to match it to, okay? There's 4 questions, fill in the answers. Moving on to page 43, using a dictionary or glossary. We've done this before plenty of times. Look up, go to your trusty dictionary.com. That's what we're going to use. A glossary is just a dictionary in the back of a text, but since we do not have an actual text in a book that we're using, we're not going to use a glossary. So this is describing how a dictionary works. When you look up the word and there are numbers with definitions after it, that means there is multiple definitions, so they are numbering them so you can try to find which definition best matches the word that you want, okay? The N, so this would be noun, V is verb, I don't see it, ADJ would be adjective, okay? The pronunciation of the word is in parentheses, so right here, it's going to be how it's phonetically said, so extract. Alright, so you are going to read this paragraph and use these definitions up here to find the meanings of each of the underlined words. And then you're going to write the number of the correct meaning above each word or phrase. So our museum has an exhibit on Chinese art. The catalog includes extracts from books about the landscape paintings. Many people extract pleasure from viewing these paintings. Okay? Alright, so look at this. To obtain or get meaning, pleasure, information. So I know this is going to be 2. Okay? The catalog includes extracts from books about the landscape paintings. So it includes to pull out, it includes to obtain or get meaning, pleasure, or information from something, it includes an excerpt or a part of a text. That sounds reasonable since we're talking about books and catalogs. So we're going to go with 3. Let's move on. However, various accounts suggest that these paintings were also used to teach life lessons. Various accounts. So from these, they are looking over Chinese art. So this is a Chinese art, right? Various accounts. So a record of events or a time period makes the most sense to me. So number 1, because they are talking about the times from Chinese art that used to teach life lessons, okay? If the paintings were used to teach morals, then scholars could account for the wide use of symbols that stand for character traits. They're accounting for something. To be the main reason for, or to explain. If the paintings were used to teach morals, then scholars could explain the wide use of symbols that stand for character traits. That makes sense to me. So 2 would be this. Okay, and don't forget, you're always going, right, so we found the meaning. So this works for me. On page 44, same thing, you are going to use the definition they give you, and you are going to answer the question. So what part of speech? So remember, this italicized abbreviation tells you what part of speech it is. The V is verb, the N is noun, the ADJ is adjective. So you are going to go through there. I do not see it, but so this is in A, D, J, V, and ADV, in case you need it, okay? Some of them ask you what part of speech it is, others ask you which definitions to use, okay? Last but not least for Tuesday's work, using a thesaurus. So, it looks like you will have the definitions up here, same thing with a dictionary. So a thesaurus is something that provides synonyms and antonyms, so words that mean something similar and words that mean maybe the opposite. So they also include the part of speech, numbers for ones that have multiple meanings or synonyms. So the first one to be listed is always the synonyms, and then they go through and tell you the antonyms. So make sure when you want for an antonym, you go after the word antonym. Alright, so same thing, read the paragraph and use the thesaurus entries up here to answer the questions. Nearly 2,600 years ago, people in Mexico and Central America drank a bitter chocolate drink, which they made from cocoa beans. So, bitter chocolate drink, a strong, unpleasant taste. So, it gives you an example sentence. The white part of a lemon rind is bitter. So, acrid or unpleasant. So, I don't know about you, but I don't usually use the word bitter to describe something that is particularly unenjoyable. So, one, for bitter, some scholars claim that people drank chocolate even longer ago. So they claim. So some scholars need that people know. Some scholars to say that something is true. So I think, so they are trying to get to where they are saying that some scholars said that people drink chocolate even longer ago. They are trying to get that truth out to people. So 2. Which words are synonyms of claim as used in the paragraph? So claim, you're going to look at 2. Right here, synonyms. State, declare, insist. Right here are your synonyms in this light blue color, or gray. Suddenly reminding me of something. Okay, sorry, I had to pause it and help my mom something. Alright, so these are the synonyms in this grayish bluish color, and then the antonyms right here, antonym, deny, right there. So we're going to do the same thing for bitter in the definition of 1. And then going on to the multiple choice questions, make sure you read whether or not they want a synonym or an antonym, and make sure you are looking to where it says antonym in the thesaurus entry. So that is all for April 21st. As always, I will have study sessions for math or language arts, whatever you need, at noon every day. I will see you guys on the next video. Have a good Tuesday.